Check it out. So let's talk about converting fractions to decimals. Okay. So say I have this simple fraction, 1/4, 1/4. Okay. Now, the first step in converting this fraction to a decimal is to understand one thing, which is that this line right here, the line that separates the top number from the bottom number in the fraction, can also be viewed as a division sign. What I mean by that, 1/4 can also be considered to be 1 divided by 4. So what I'm saying is look at this line right here as the division sign. Okay. Now, the next thing to keep in mind is that now the only thing left for us to do to convert this fraction to a decimal is to do this division. That's it. So let's do the division. 1/4 is 1 divided by 4. So now let's write that. That's going to be 1 divided by 4. Remember, this is the first number. Remember that whenever you set up the bracket, the division bracket, the first number goes under the bracket. The second number goes outside of the bracket. Okay. So keep that in mind. So you say 1 divided by 4, that means you have 4 and you're trying to divide 1 by 4. So you're trying to see how 4 can go inside of 1. So keep that in, when you say divided by, that means the first number is being divided by the second number. Okay. So if you're dividing the first number by the second number, that means that you're trying to see how many times the second number can go into the first number. So let's do it. Now, this is long division here. This is just long division. And the steps for long division are divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then just repeat. Repeat as necessary. Okay. So this is basically all that we do. There's going to be an additional step, but we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why this app has an obvious bug. Anyhow, 4 divided by 1. So we ask ourselves, how many times can 4 go into 1? Now, can 4 go inside of 1? No. So it goes in 0 times. So that's the divide part. We did divide. We can't divide that in, so it goes in 0 times. Now we multiply. 4 times 0 is 0. Okay, now we subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. Now bring down. But the question is, there's nothing to bring down. When we're finding the decimal form of a fraction, this is what you do at this stage. So we're going to adjust this stage here. So we're going to add a decimal. Where do we add a decimal? We're going to add a decimal after the number under the bracket, but then at the same time, we're going to add a number above the bracket. I mean, a decimal above the bracket too. Okay. Now, after that, we're going to add a 0. Okay. So we're going to add a 0 right here because we're adding a 0 that we're going to now bring down. Now we repeat. Now we're going to divide. How many times does 4 go into 10? It goes in 2 times. Multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. Let's subtract. 10 minus 8 gives us 2. Okay. Now, remember, you repeat either until either number 1, there's no remainder, or 2, you see that the decimal repeats. Okay. And we'll do an example that kind of shows that. All right, so we still have a remainder. So what do we need to do? We need to bring down. But we don't have anything to bring down, so we're going to add a 0. 4 goes into 20 5 times. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. You have no remainder. So here is your answer, 0.25. So 1/4 as a decimal is 0.25. Okay. Now let's do another example. So it's not too bad. Not too bad, is it? All right. So let's do 5/6. So remember, 5/6 is the same thing as 5 divided by 6. Okay. So 5 divided by 6, the first number goes under the bracket. Second number goes outside the bracket. How many times does 6 go into 5? That's the division, 0 times. Multiplication, 6 times 0 is 0. Subtraction, 5 minus 0 is 5. Now, we're going to bring down, but we need to bring down a 0, which means we need to add a decimal first. Decimals, then add a 0 and bring it down. How many times does 6 go into 50? 6 times 8 is 48. So it goes in 8 times without going over. 6 times 8 is 48. 50 minus 48 is going to be 2. Now, we need to bring down. So that means, because we still have a remainder, we need to add a 0 to bring down. 6 goes into 20. How many times? 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18 is 2. Okay. Let's add another 0. Sorry about that. 6 goes into 20. Again, same thing. You see, we're going to repeat over and over again now. Uh-oh, I'm in the right 18. Okay, now. So now we see that we have a repeating situation. So there's our final answer. You put a line over the number that repeats. Okay, so 5 divided by 6 is 0.833 repeating. All right. Hopefully that's helpful. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, like and share this video, watch it as many times as you need to. And if you need math tutoring, you see the link down there below and in the description. Same thing with SAT, ACT math practice if you happen to need that too. All right. Hopefully this helps.